Hi, welcome to Global Warming 101, Man-Made and Causes. I'm Dr. Alec Feinberg, and let's get right started. There are there's a number of reasons for global warming caused by man. The main root cause is that the population is a key driver because that creates greenhouse gases. We also get black soot, which reduces the reflectivity of the Earth. Increases due to hot cities and roads that are a choice of colors, black roofs, black roads. And I estimated between 11 and 16% of global warming is due to urban heat islands. And here's my paper, as published author on that. And also, there's a large response by the Earth. Over maybe 50% of global warming is the response of the Earth that is causing it. How do we know it's man-made? Well, this graph is called the hockey stick graph, and you can look it up, Google it, and you can see the anomalies of temperature rise back 20,000 years to present day. And you can see this spike here is fairly unnatural, and that's what's happening in recent times. And so that's one of the reasons why they think it's man-made. Okay, now one of the interesting graphs that people like to refer to is the CO2 on top of global warming, kind of showing that trend. And this is a necessary but not sufficient condition, and I'll show you another graph later explaining why it's not the only graph that correlates to global warming. But it's helpful to look at that. Now, greenhouse gases are like blankets on your bed, so named after the greenhouse. So the more blankets you have, the warmer you get, and so you want just the right amount of blankets. And we need those blankets to stay warm, but on the other hand, too much of a good thing is not good. So some of the heat escapes to outer space, and some of it gets re-radiated by greenhouse gases, and that's how we keep warm on the Earth. But as we mentioned, too much of a good thing is not great. So there's that. And the other issue is hotspots. And in greenhouse gases, the solar radiation goes right through the greenhouse gases. It's called shortwave radiation, and that gets converted to heat from a black surface, for example, and becomes a hotspot. And that heat is infrared, which is long wave radiation, which can be absorbed and re-emitted by the greenhouse gases. So that's your greenhouse effect there. And hotspots is an issue. For example, in cities, black roads and black roofs will emit a lot of heat. We've all experienced that, and so a lot of cities try to paint their roofs white to cool it down a little bit. And so, as I mentioned, there's some controversy that cities are causing a lot of global warming. Here shows you our choice of colors. Even the smart people like Tesla electric cars that are trying to help in the global warming effort, they seem to be choosing black cars as well. So what good, you take a black car versus a white gas car and sitting in a parking lot, and the black car is going to cause more global warming because it's not rocket science. If it's hot, it's contributing to global warming. So we have to be more mindful of colors. Even these smart engineers, they're not choosing the right colors. So cooling hotspots is a good goal, and greenhouse gases need heat to work. So remember that without heat, greenhouse gases do nothing. And we showed you this graph here, and you can see the hotspot and how it gets re-radiated. And if we mitigate that by painting it white, making it more reflective, then the solar radiation just gets reflected into outer space, and the greenhouse gases do nothing. And this re-radiation factor is so you not only get the hotspot itself, but the re-radiation, and that's a factor of 1.6. So it's 160% of the heat is mitigated when you paint it white compared to the greenhouse gases, where you're only getting the reduction of the greenhouse gas itself. So hotspots are a key thing that we should be mitigating, and it's not part of the Paris Climate Accord. So I'm really shocked at climatologists for just focusing on CO2. Anyway, you can see the natural aggregates for building cities and global warming trends, they also correlate. So there's some controversy, as I said, how much of cities is contributing to global warming. But I did want to show you that it's not only CO2 that correlates to global warming, but city materials that we use to build cities over the years is increasing, and along with global warming. Now, as we mentioned, a little surface theorem: if you increase the reflectivity of the Earth, you also reduce the greenhouse gas effect for those parts. But on the other hand, if you keep painting the Earth black, you actually not only cause that heat, but you increase its greenhouse gas effects. And that hotspot math is not only the heat from the Earth, but also the re-radiation, so it's about 1.6 is the factor. Now, moisture is another issue, and some of the moisture is man-made in the sense that we make these highly impervious surfaces that have a high evaporation rate, so we lose a lot of natural cooling, and also it creates a local greenhouse gas in cities, and that gets re-radiated, so it's like a local greenhouse gas effect, and also the fact that the feedback effect. So what is feedback? Let me talk about moisture feedback first. Warm air expands, so there's more room for moisture to get into the air. So actually the moisture in the air is increasing, the water vapor content in the air. And that greenhouse gas is, water vapor is a greenhouse gas. So that's a bad thing, because we're getting too much water vapor as well. So that's a feedback situation. Ice melting is a feedback situation, because when the ice melts, it was highly reflective, and now it's more absorbing. So you can see that feedback is responsible, actually, for at least 50% of global warming. Most climatologists think that way. I found about 20% of global warming is due to ice melting. This is the reflectivity solution to global warming urgently needed is another thing I put on YouTube, and you might take a look at that. It explains how the reflectivity solution would be extremely helpful, not just CO2 reduction, but why a reflectivity solution would be a great thing to work on as well. Well, I hope you got something out of this. So that's Global Warming 101, and it should be very helpful for you. Thank you.